Michael, I've been your second family too. Actually, I've been second to everything: your job, your ambitions, your overtime checks. Now that you're finally done with work, I'm done with you. These are divorce papers. Sign them. Please, before we continue, like, share and subscribe. My name is Michael James, and those words, delivered by my wife of 35 years in front of 250 people at my retirement party, are the last words she ever spoke to me as my wife. Let me back up. The ballroom was packed that night. Colleagues I'd mentored for decades, friends from church, my 3 kids, and Sophia, my beautiful wife who I'd worked myself half to death for. The company had gone all out. Crystal chandeliers, open bar, a slideshow of my career highlights. I was standing at the podium, my voice breaking as I thanked everyone for being part of my journey, when Sophia stood up from her table. I thought she was going to say something sweet. Maybe thank everyone for coming. Maybe tell an embarrassing story about me that would make everyone laugh. Instead, her heels clicked against the marble floor like gunshots as she walked toward me. The room went silent. She pulled an envelope from her clutch and slammed it onto the podium hard enough that the microphone crackled. That's when she said those words. I stood there, frozen, staring at the envelope like it was a bomb. Which, in a way, it was. Then I heard clapping. Slow at first, then louder. My son Brandon was on his feet, applauding his mother like she'd just delivered the State of the Union. "It's about time, Mom," he shouted. My daughter Ashley joined in, standing up with tears streaming down her face, but not sad tears. Proud tears. "You deserve this," she yelled. Even Tyler, my youngest, clapped. Hesitantly, uncomfortably, but he clapped. My children, the 3 people I'd sacrificed everything for, were celebrating my humiliation. I picked up the envelope with shaking hands. My best friend Robert reached for my arm, but I waved him off. What could he say? What could anyone say? I looked at my children one more time, hoping to see regret, confusion, anything. But Brandon was still clapping. Ashley was hugging Sophia. Tyler looked at the floor. I walked out of that ballroom, my retirement party, the celebration of 35 years of dedication, and got into my car. I didn't cry. I sat in the parking lot for 20 minutes, staring at the steering wheel, trying to understand what had just happened. My phone buzzed. A text from my colleague David. "Mike, what the hell just happened? Are you okay?" Then another from my manager. "That was completely inappropriate. We're all here if you need anything." Then one from Robert. "I'm coming to your place. Don't do anything stupid." I drove home. Well, it wasn't my home anymore, I'd find out later. The house was dark. Sophia had taken an Uber straight from the party to God knows where. I walked through the rooms we'd filled with memories. Brandon's baby pictures on the wall. Ashley's art projects from elementary school still in frames. Tyler's high school football jersey mounted above the fireplace. I'd paid for all of it. The house, the frames, the private schools, the college tuitions, the weddings. And they'd applauded my public destruction. I sat in my office and opened the envelope. The divorce papers were already filled out. She'd planned this. Every detail. The retirement party wasn't just convenient timing, it was strategic. Maximum audience. Maximum humiliation. I noticed something else in the envelope. A handwritten note. "You were never really here anyway. Now it's official." I didn't sleep that night. I sat in that office until sunrise trying to figure out where I'd gone wrong. The answer I'd discover wasn't in what I'd done. It was in what Sophia had been doing for the past 2 years. 3 days later, Robert called me at 7 in the morning. "Mike, don't go on Instagram. Just don't." Of course, I immediately went on Instagram. Sophia's profile was public. The first photo, her on a yacht with a man I'd never seen before, champagne glasses touching, sunset behind them. The caption read, "New chapter. No regrets." The next photo, the same man kissing her forehead at a restaurant I recognized, the one that required reservations 3 months in advance. Caption, "Finally with someone who sees me." Then I saw the third photo and my stomach dropped. It was our family portrait from Christmas 2 years ago. Me, Sophia, Brandon, Ashley, Tyler, all smiling. Except Sophia had drawn a big red X over my face. The caption, "Letting go of dead weight. Freedom feels amazing." The comments killed me more than the photos. Brandon had written, "You deserve this, Mom," with a crown emoji. Ashley, "So proud of you." Tyler's comment was just 3 dots. No words. I zoomed in on the man in the photos. Tall, gray hair, expensive suit, perfect teeth. He looked like a real estate ad come to life. I showed Robert. "Who the hell is that?" Robert grabbed my laptop and started digging. Derek Patterson. Real estate developer. Divorced 3 years ago. Lives downtown in one of those luxury condos that cost more per month than most people's mortgages. I stared at the photos. How long has this been going on? Robert didn't answer immediately, which meant he was thinking the same thing I was. This wasn't a rebound. You don't get on a yacht with someone 3 days after serving divorce papers unless you've been seeing them for a while. I opened a new folder on my laptop. Labeled it New Life. I didn't know what I'd put in it yet, but it felt important to start something. Anything. My phone buzzed. A text from Sophia. Stop calling me. The lawyer will contact you. I hadn't called her once. 2 weeks later, Sophia let me come to the house to collect my personal items. She was renovating and needed my office cleared out. I packed boxes methodically, books, files, photos she didn't want. In the back of a drawer I found an old iPad. Sophia's. She'd forgotten about it when she upgraded last year. I wasn't trying to snoop. I just wanted to make sure none of my work files were on it. But when I opened it, it auto-synced to her messages. Derek's name was at the top. I almost closed it. Almost respected her privacy. Then I saw the date on the first message, 2 years ago. 4 months before my retirement party. My hands started shaking as I scrolled. When are you going to tell him? Derek had written. Soon, Sophia replied. I just need to time it perfectly. Maximum impact. You're brilliant, Derek wrote. He won't see it coming. He never does, Sophia had replied with a smirking emoji. I kept scrolling. Hundreds of messages. Photos. Plans. They discussed the retirement party like it was a military operation. 6 months before the party, Sophia had written, I've been working on the kids. Brandon's fully on my side now. Ashley's almost there. Tyler's still soft on his dad, but he'll follow the others. Derek had responded, smart. When you serve him, it'll look like everyone agrees he's the problem. I found photos of them together. Dates, trips, hotel rooms. All while I was working 70-hour weeks to build our retirement fund. All while I was missing dinners and games because I thought I was securing our future. I wanted to scream. Instead, I took screenshots of everything. Sent them to my email. Put the iPad back exactly where I'd found it. I didn't confront Sophia. Not yet. Some part of me, the part that had been an engineer for 35 years, knew that evidence mattered more than emotion. I need to tell you about Brandon because his betrayal hurt the most. He's 32 now, married with 2 kids, working in marketing. He was always Sophia's favorite. Her confidant. Her man of the house when I traveled. But there's something you don't know. 7 years ago, when Brandon was 25, he lost $50,000 in a crypto scam. That $50,000 included the $20,000 Sophia and I had given him for his wedding. He never told me. He was too ashamed. Knew I'd lecture him about due diligence and risky investments. But he told Sophia. And Sophia covered for him. She took $50,000 from our joint savings, money I didn't monitor closely because I trusted her, and gave it to Brandon. Dad never needs to know, she told him. From that day forward, Brandon owed her. When Sophia decided to leave me, she called Brandon first. I need you to support me publicly, she'd said. Show your father that I'm not the villain here. Brandon agreed immediately. Not because he believed her, but because he was terrified she'd tell me about the $50,000 if he didn't. I found all of this out later from Tyler. But that night at the retirement party, when Brandon stood and clapped, he wasn't celebrating his mother's courage. He was paying off a debt. The worst part? Sophia had been reminding him of that debt for 7 years. Little comments. Remember when I saved you? Your father would never understand like I do. She'd been grooming him to betray me long before she met Derek. That's the thing about Sophia. She didn't just plan the divorce. She engineered it. Every piece. Every player. Every humiliation. And I'd been too busy working, too busy providing, to see it coming. Sophia and Derek had been living together for 4 months when his mask finally slipped. I know this because Tyler told me later after everything fell apart. But let me paint you the picture. Sophia had invested $150,000, half of what she'd gotten in the divorce, in Derek's luxury condo development project. He'd promised her a 300% return. They'd be partners. Build an empire together. One evening, Sophia was cooking dinner in Derek's downtown condo. His phone buzzed on the marble counter. She glanced at it. The message read, "When are you going to leave that old hag? You promised me we'd be together by now." Sophia's blood went cold. She picked up the phone. There were messages from multiple women. Rebecca, Amanda, Jennifer. Photos. Plans. Derek had been seeing at least 3 other women the entire time. Derek walked in from the bedroom. Saw Sophia holding his phone. His charming smile evaporated like steam. "What the hell are you doing?" His voice was ice. "Who is Rebecca? Who are all these women?" Sophia demanded. Derek didn't apologize. He laughed. Actually laughed. "You really thought you were special? Sophia, you were a retirement plan. Literally. I loved you." Derek grabbed his phone from her hands. "You loved the attention. There's a difference. And by the way, that $150,000 you invested? It's gone. There is no condo project. I paid off debts and bought a car." The room spun around Sophia. "You used me. I upgraded you from a boring marriage to an expensive lesson. You're welcome." Derek started packing a bag. "I need you out of the condo by Friday. Rebecca's moving in." "Rebecca? Your girlfriend? The one from the text. She's 34, gorgeous, and actually has money left. Unlike you." He walked out, leaving Sophia on the floor, sobbing. Ashley is 29, married to David, with a 3-year-old daughter named Emma. And Ashley's marriage is quietly falling apart. David works 80-hour weeks as a corporate lawyer. He misses Emma's bedtime. Misses school pickups. Missed Emma's 3rd birthday party because he was in court. Sound familiar? For years, Ashley had repeated Sophia's complaints about me. Dad was never there. Dad chose work over family. But now Ashley was living the same story. Except she was me. And David was also me. One night, after David missed another dinner, Ashley called Sophia crying. "He doesn't care about us. He's just like Dad." Sophia, still with Derek at the time, had said, "Then leave him." I did. Best decision of my life. But Ashley didn't want to leave David. She loved him. She knew he was working hard for their family, not against them. That's when something shifted in her mind. Was Dad doing the same thing? She started asking questions. "Mom, did Dad ever miss things for trivial reasons, or was it always work? Mom, did Dad spend his money on himself or on us? Mom, when you left Dad, were you already seeing someone else?" Sophia deflected every question. "Why are you defending him? After everything I told you?" Ashley realized something. Mom never actually said what Dad did wrong. She just said she felt neglected. When Tyler showed Ashley the affair messages, the proof that Sophia had been cheating for 2 years, planning the retirement party humiliation, everything clicked. "Mom lied to us," Ashley told Tyler. "She wasn't the victim. She was the villain." But admitting that meant admitting she'd applauded her father's public humiliation. Meant admitting she'd been manipulated. Ashley threw up that night. The guilt was physical. She'd stood in that ballroom and cheered while her mother destroyed her father. And he'd walked out quietly with dignity she didn't deserve. Tyler came to visit me about 6 weeks after the retirement party. My new apartment was small. 1 bedroom, basic furniture, nothing fancy. I was cooking pasta when he knocked. "Dad, why aren't you fighting back?" Tyler asked, sitting at my tiny kitchen table. "Mom's posting all this stuff online and you're just here." I shrugged, stirring the pasta. "What would fighting prove? That I'm right? I already know I'm right." Tyler watched me. "Didn't you love her?" I paused. "I loved who I thought she was. Turns out I was wrong." "Dad, about the retirement party, you clapped," I said quietly. I thought Mom was finally standing up for herself. Brandon and Ashley were so sure. "Tyler, your mother served me divorce papers in front of 250 people to humiliate me. If that's standing up for herself, what was I doing to her that was so bad?" Tyler had no answer. I continued, draining the pasta. "I worked 60-hour weeks. I traveled. I missed some games. But I paid for your schools, your cars, your weddings, your down payments. I set up college funds. I made sure your mom never had to work full-time if she didn't want to. What part of that was abuse?" Tyler's eyes welled up. "I don't know, Dad. I'm sorry." "It's okay," I said, dividing the pasta onto 2 plates. "You'll figure it out." That night, Tyler couldn't sleep. He went through old family photos, old emails, old messages. He found Sophia's old laptop in storage at his apartment. Opened it. The messages with Derek were still there. Cloud backup. Tyler read everything. The affair timeline. The planning for the retirement party. A message from Sophia that made him physically sick. "Brandon will clap on cue. Ashley's already on my side. Tyler might hesitate, but he'll follow. This will destroy Michael publicly." Tyler took screenshots of everything. Sent them to Brandon and Ashley. Subject line: "We need to talk about Mom. Now." They met at a coffee shop 2 days later. Tyler's phone was on the table, screenshots open. Brandon saw the first message and went pale. "This can't be real." It's real, Tyler said. And it gets worse. Ashley read through the messages, her hands shaking. She was planning this for money? She cheated on Dad. Tyler showed them the timeline. Messages from 2 years before the divorce. Before the retirement party. While their father was working to build their retirement fund. Brandon slumped in his chair. We clapped. We stood up and clapped while she destroyed him. Ashley started crying. Oh my God. What did we do? We believed her story without asking Dad for his side, Tyler said. Brandon was defensive. She's our mom. She told us Dad was never there, and was that a lie? Tyler interrupted. Or was he working to give us everything? Brandon, Dad paid for your wedding. All $75,000. Ashley, he paid your down payment. Mine too. He paid for private schools, college, cars. What did Mom sacrifice that she didn't choose? Silence. Ashley, sobbing, said, I told David he was just like Dad, like it was an insult. But Dad was a good man. He sacrificed everything for us. What do we do? Brandon asked. We apologize, Tyler said. And we tell Mom she's on her own. Brandon's phone buzzed. A text from Sophia. I need to borrow $50,000. Please. It's urgent. Brandon stared at the text. Showed his siblings. She's broke. Good, Tyler said. And for the first time in months, all 3 siblings agreed on something. Sophia showed up at my apartment on a Tuesday night. I'd been expecting it. Hair disheveled, mascara smudged, desperation radiating from every pore. Michael, please. Can I come in? I stepped aside. She entered, looking around at my simple life. A book on the coffee table. A mug of tea. I'm so sorry, she began. I made a terrible mistake. Derek wasn't who I thought he was. He used me. He took my money. I'm losing the house. I have nothing. I listened. Silent. I was confused, Sophia continued. I felt neglected. I know that's not an excuse, but I was hurting. And Derek manipulated me. I see that now. When did you see that? I asked. What? When did you realize Derek manipulated you? When he told you he was using you? Or when you ran out of money? Sophia hesitated. That's not fair. Isn't it? Because from where I'm standing, you only regret this because it didn't work out. If Derek had been real, if the money lasted, you'd still be posting pictures mocking me on Instagram. She cried harder. No. I regret hurting you. I regret the divorce papers, the party, all of it. Do you regret cheating on me for 2 years? Sophia froze. Yeah. I know, I said calmly. Found the messages. The planning. You and Derek plotted my public humiliation like a heist. How did you? Doesn't matter. What matters is you're not sorry you did it. You're sorry it backfired. She was desperate now. Michael, we can go to counseling. We can rebuild. What about our vows? For better or worse? I laughed. Not cruelly but sadly. Sophia, you broke those vows 2 years ago. You just didn't tell me until you had an audience. Sophia changed tactics. What about the kids? Don't you want our family back together? The kids are adults, I said. They'll figure it out. Tyler's devastated. Brandon won't talk to me. Ashley's confused. They need us to be united. They need us to be honest. Something you've never been. Sophia's frustration broke through. Fine. You want honesty? Yes, I cheated. Yes, I planned the divorce dramatically. But you were never there, Michael. I was lonely. I raised those kids alone while you were off being the hero at work. I was off making sure those kids had food, clothes, education, and opportunities, I replied evenly. You want to villainize me for that? I want you to admit you neglected me. I didn't neglect you. I prioritized our family's future. There's a difference. You prioritized money? Sophia shouted. I prioritized security, I said firmly. And you spent 35 years resenting me for it, then destroyed me publicly the second you had a backup plan. She stood up, her voice cold now. So that's it? You're just going to let me lose everything? You made your choices. I'm making mine. You'll regret this. When the kids see you abandon their mother, they already know the truth, I interrupted. Tyler showed them the messages. Sophia went pale. What? They know you cheated. They know you manipulated them. They know you planned the whole thing. She stumbled backward. No, they wouldn't. They did. And for the first time in years, they're asking themselves if maybe their dad wasn't the villain after all. Sophia was in full panic. Michael, please. I have nothing. I'm going to be homeless. You have money, you have your retirement. And you have the consequences of your actions. I open the door. Goodbye, Sophia. Scene 12. Michael's new beginning. 6 months later, I'm standing at the Aviation Museum, surrounded by kids. I volunteer here now, teaching them about aerodynamics with model planes. A little girl asks, Mr. James, were you ever scared when you flew planes? Every time, I tell her. But fear isn't bad. It keeps you careful. Another kid asks, did you ever crash? I laugh. Once. When I was learning. Best thing that ever happened to me. Why? Because I learned that crashing doesn't mean failing. It means you tried. And then you get up and try again. Patricia walks up, smiling. She's a 56-year-old widow I met here 3 months ago. We've been taking things slow. Ready for lunch? Yeah. I turn to the kids. See you next week. Outside, Tyler is waiting. Hey, Dad. I'm surprised. Tyler. What are you doing here? Wanted to see your new life. And to say I'm proud of you. My eyes well up. Thanks, son. Ashley and Brandon want to visit too. If that's okay. Of course it is. We hug. Patricia tactfully walks ahead to grab us a table. She seems nice, Tyler says. She is. Are you happy, Dad? I pause. Think. Yeah. I really am. Good. You deserve it. 3 months later, Patricia and I are in Alaska, standing in front of a glacier. I'd always wanted to come here, but Sophia hated the cold. This is incredible, Patricia says. I always wanted to see this, I tell her. Why didn't you? My ex-wife hated the cold. So we never went. Well, I love the cold, Patricia says, squeezing my hand. So we're coming back. I laugh. Deal. My phone buzzes. A text from Brandon. Dad, I'm sorry. For everything. Can we talk? I smile. Type back, of course. Call me anytime. I put my phone away and turn to Patricia. Let's take that photo. We stand together, the glacier behind us, smiling. Not because I won, but because I'm finally free.